Hey everyone, this is Daniel and Alex from IGN.
What's up?
We're playing PES 2015. So this is me and you having a quick all game. So we're going to play the whole entire match. Is that right?
That's right, yeah. So this is the first time that Pro Evo has made it onto next gen because, and fair play to Konami, they wanted to make sure the debut of the game was exactly right for next gen consoles.
I guess they probably didn't want to dilute the resources last year, so they're like really focusing on this release.
Yeah, and I think obviously for when they did it last time on Xbox 360 and PS3, their first kind of debut wasn't kind of up to scratch, and that I think that impacted them throughout the whole of that generation. So I think to come out with a game of this quality, and obviously we're going to talk about that in more detail, is exactly the right thing to do.
So this is running on the Fox engine, which is Konami's in-house engine. You're probably familiar with it from Ground Zeroes this year. And one of the things you've seen a lot on PES this year, they keep releasing screenshots of player likenesses, which are really good. Like if you look at Ozil, he looks like Ozil, and the likeness is really good. I think in the lineup, like some maybe when the screenshots and the stills look amazing.
Of course,
they look fantastic. It's obviously very difficult to bring them to life, but on the whole, I think they're really good.
Yeah.
Occasionally, the kind of the eye thing is still kind of a bit of a problem, but on the whole, I think the likenesses are really pretty good.
Yeah,
very impressive actually.
So the Germans very passionate about their country, singing the national anthem. The Argentinians,
nothing,
not so much.
A little tiny Messi,
tiny Messi on the.
So you couldn't believe how small he was.
No, I couldn't.
Like, but he is really small.
Yeah, I didn't realise he was quite that small. But
he's a little child playing football.
Yeah, he's just very good though.
So, shall we say who is which team?
So Daniel, you are playing as the Germans,
the Bosch,
and I am playing as the Argentinians. So let's see how this game pans out. Obviously, it's a friendly, so
I didn't realise
handshakes at the beginning.
This wasn't intentional, but we redid the World Cup final.
Yeah, that wasn't intentional. No. You're right. So obviously it's Pro Evo. So in terms of the clubs that you're seeing, obviously most of the international clubs are in there. Pretty much all of the European clubs are in there. The only thing that's not in there, of course, is the Premier League clubs.
Yeah, because those rights are much contested.
Yeah.
But so the whole kind of mantra this year's PES is returning to the core of the series at its heyday, in its pomp, which was very kind of precision control, super responsive, but bringing that to life with a really modern, cutting-edge engine and game tech.
So I think the first thing that you'll notice is how fast it is. It's a much quicker game than kind of previous Pro Evos, but I think the important point to make is even though it's fast, it doesn't feel like it's kind of just end-to-end ping-pong stuff.
No, I feel like I really enjoy it. I find it very exciting to play.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's lots of options, and if one tactic isn't working, you can change it without having to like change the organisation of your team. Yeah. You can just change it up and employ different tactics on the go.
Yeah.
So I really like the passing. I think the passing in particular is very crisp.
Yeah. But although it does do a lot less hand holding. If you're kind of used to playing, I don't know, FIFA for example, it does a lot less hand holding than that.
Well, it feels like a lot of stuff isn't automated. I feel like it's more analog.
Yeah, so the downside of that is if you're not used to it, then some of your passing will be a little bit wayward until you get used to it. But the upside is you can do a lot more precision passing without having to go full manual.
On the flip side, on that note, I should say, I found myself like holding down like for the most powerful pass, and kind of when I know there's a player making a run and I want to literally carve the defense up, and I can see a gap opening up because of a really smart run by a teammate.
Yeah.
Put down maximum pressure on the pass, and you can see the ball just kind of zip through to them.
Yeah. So here we go. So it's once you get used to it, the passing is really crisp, really sharp. And for the most part, I think the AI is really clever, and they're very good on runs. Of course, you get the odd blip where they don't quite do what you want them to do.
I think AI is decent. Like if you just watch this, you will see many instances of your attacking players holding the line, really kind of trying to make a run.
See lots of instances of you crippling my players.
Well, look at this play.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I was talking about.
Perfect.
Is that very crisp precision passing,
and there's a lot of
also smart running.
Exactly. There's a lot of satisfaction in those goals. That was perfectly worked. I doff my cap to you if I was wearing a cap.
Thank you.
And it's not just a kind of edge of the box hit and hope. It's all about skill and building up.
There's a lot of one-touch passing. Yeah,
that's what PES was always about. Is kind of figuring out how your team plays and then making the most of it. And I'm not saying that that's exclusive to Pro Evo, but it feels like that's been lacking in the kind of most recent iterations of the game, and it's definitely back with a vengeance in this.
So he's just right in on you.
Yeah.
I give no quarter. That's my gameplay style, Alex.
Yeah, I know football's a contact sport, but sometimes you take it a little bit too far.
One of the reasons, the tackling, defending in PES, again, because you've got a lot more kind of control of your player, I think defending orientates more around predicting play and how it will unfold. So if you spot a run, maybe don't tackle the player, block the pass off.
Yeah.
But the sliding tackle in PES is particularly fierce, isn't it?
It
really is a kind of last resort sort of affair, or use it if you know that you're going to time it to perfection.
But that's the thing.
Which is defending. That is the art of defending.
I like the fact that it has an impact on the game, and you can, if you mistime it, then you will cripple your opponent. But you can block shots. There is a lot more to it than just kind of a last-dash hope. And if you're committed to that slide tackle, then your player is down. Often, you see in other games, is you make the slide tackle and you can be back on your feet and making the other a standard tackle. That's just not right in my eyes.
I do feel like defending in PES, I brains in gear a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think in FIFA I always just disengage brain and I hold down pressure and I double up until I just brutalise the opponent until getting the ball back.
Yeah.
Whereas in PES I'm kind of trying to think of where you're going to be running, where I should be positioning my players, and so on.
Yeah. So in terms of the overall presentation, what do you think? Obviously, first debut on PS4 and Xbox One. I think it looks pretty good.
I think it's really good. We should, for clarity and to kind of explain the differences, this is the same game running on the Fox engine that's going to be on current gen and next gen.
Yep.
FIFA can benefit from the fact that they've got a large development team, so the next gen game runs on an entirely different engine.
Yeah.
And in essence, it's a different game.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 reviews of it on site, so it is a different game. Whereas this is kind of working across generations. So there's certain restrictions and constrictions on what maybe it can and can't do. But I think it's really, I think it looks great.
Yeah.
I think, it's kind of those things off the pitch where it maybe doesn't have the little flourishes like the crowd, for instance.
Yeah.
But, is it really that impactful? I don't know.
That was one of the big things, obviously, from FIFA this year, was the kind of the match day experience, all of the kind of stadiums being perfectly recreated, all the times.
It's a lot of those finishing touches which you can probably, if you have the additional power, you can probably eke them out.
Yeah, but I think actually on the pitch, it looks fantastic, but more importantly, it plays really sharp. It's things like that. That was my mistake. I put the ball too far behind my man running in, and so hands up. I will learn from that, and I'll get it right next time, hopefully.
I really like doing this. I really like building it out of defence.
Yeah, there is a lot less kind of hit out the pitch and hope that a man would latch onto.
Look at that. That's really precision control.
And keeping that player off the ball by leaning into the tackle is, it feels good.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good animation in the game when players receive the ball in context-specific ways. I did a really good through ball to Mata once, and he was running into the box at full pelt, and he just controls it on his chest, as he would, because he's a very talented and skillful player. And I think that with a lot of the players in PES, you feel skillful.
Yeah.
You feel like a proper footballer. You feel like you can run at people. You feel that you can spot a pass.
Yeah. So this was probably, I don't know, our 3rd or 4th game. So, we'd kind of really got the hang of the passing by this point. You can see the runs, and obviously you stepped in there, but you can just pinpoint your pass exactly right to just put it away from the defender and get that extra yard or 2 on him.
I definitely find myself looking at the position of my teammates more, rather than just reverting to what I kind of know works.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that, you can see the run.
But even the run there, your your attacker, not the one who went for the header there, he peeled away from the defender.
And there was a deeper lying midfielder who ran into the box.
Yeah.
So there you go, full time, Alex.
So that's it. That's your first look at Pro Evo 2015 on PS4 and Xbox One. You can actually download the demo of it right now. So rather than just watching us play it, you can go and check it out. But the game itself is coming out in November. So for all things Pro Evo, keep it locked on IGN.